So this is going to be a full tutorial breakdown of the bot exchange called Axiom. Now, this one is been around for a few months now. Now I've talked about BullX and Trojan and Photon, and I've done videos on those different platforms as well. I wanted to break this one down. A lot of the features are very similar. There's a couple new features that I like about Axiom that the other platforms do not have, and so I wanted to cover those as well. But let's just go over the general broad overview of what this platform has to offer. The first thing you're going to see is, of course, a UI very similar to the other platforms where you got all the drawing tools on the left-hand side. And you also have all of the timeframes as well as all of your indicators. You can look at all the bubbles of the developers or yourself or any other insiders that are buying and selling this particular project. You could look at it in USD and Sol, as well as change it from market cap to price on the right hand corner scale here. Let's just look at some of the tools on the toolbar over here. You can discover what's hot, what's trending by clicking on this button right here. And it's going to give you some high volume, more hyped up projects here, similar to Dex Screener. I think this is a good tool. You don't really have to leave Axiom to do a lot of research. So I'm going to show you why, because you can do everything that you can do on Dex Screener right here with all the different filters, and you can adjust them to whatever your preference is, right? Similar to Dex Screener. The next thing you can go and do is you can see what's on Pump Fund. You have the newly minted, what's come out within seconds, right? Then you got the almost graduated column, which is here in the middle. And you can set filters for all these. How many insiders maximum, how many top 10 maximum do you want, or minimums do you want, the market cap, the volume, a bunch of different key indicators or metrics that you're going to want to know, right? So this right here is going to be the top 10 holders. This is how much percentage the dev is holding. This one is for the amount of snipers. This one here is for the insiders that are holding. This one here is the bundle holding. And then this one right here is whether they paid for the Dex Screener fees, right? So you want to know whether they're actually shelling out money for marketing. And that's a pretty cool little feature right here. And just a few different things you can look at and filter through. Of course, the filters are right here on the top corner. This column, by the way, is for the graduated coins, right? So graduated just means that they've gone past the bonding curve at Pump Fund to be able to be sent to Radium. So Radium is where most people in the public are going to be able to swap coins in and out. And so once they've graduated, that means that they have now burnt a certain amount of liquidity so that they can't touch it, the developers, and they send it over to Radium so that people can swap in and out of it. And you can buy it on regular platforms. Some of the filters in here you can look at, you can check off that you want it coming from Pump Fund. Look, they also have Boop in here already. That's pretty cool, man. Boop's already in here. So I'm going to click that. Boop is very similar to Pump Fund. It's a new competitor. So that's awesome. They've already integrated that. I'd love to see that. Dex paid. Okay. You want to see that I want to click this because I want to make sure that they paid for the Dex Screener. So they're on Dex Screener. You can find them there as well. That's an extra amount of money and effort the marketing team is putting into a project. So I like to see that. The CA ends in pump. Man, I might not necessarily want that anymore because now we have Boop, right? So the ones that the contract addresses that Boop have a different ending and with Boop. Okay, so that's a little fun fact that I discovered yesterday. So seeing how they just launched, this is what was it, the 2nd of May? So they launched on the 1st of May. And the project's already seeing some good developers developing good coins. But that's not part of this tutorial. So there's some other filters you can, like here, I'm very selective. I want to make sure at this point, once they've graduated, I didn't want the amount of top 10 holders to hold 15%. Same thing with the amount of insiders. There's bundling options. You can just say that you only want maybe 20% bundled market cap. You want to keep it 500K and above. It just depends on your preference and how conservative you want to be. Then you can go ahead and click. And then you could see how conservative I am. Normally you'd see a long list on both of these columns, but because I'm very conservative with what I want, I don't want a bunch of top 10 having 80% of the allocation. I don't want to see that there is 100% of snipers have not unloaded their wallets, things like that. I want to make sure to filter out so that I could just have the cream of the crop. And you can select what you want to trade from here if you want. So let's just click onto this one. So I just clicked this random coin, right? And of course, you can have your indicators here at the bottom. I'm just going to click out of them. You can double click just like any other platform to remove the indicator. So you have just the UI and the coin by itself. Okay. And so all of the buttons and switches over here are very similar to Photon or BullX. You can click between the 24-hour, 6-hour, the 1 hour, and the 5 minute to change the information that is here. So you have your buys, you have your sells there, you have the amount of volume that you've had, and then the net volume on the far right. So you can select from, I normally keep it on 24 hours. You have your buy and sell buttons here. You have the market button, which means that you want to buy at whatever price is at that current moment in time. That's what market means. It's going to give you the best price based on its current value. And then if you want to select limit, this is where you would want to buy somewhere in the future. So say you want to buy this coin in particular, you want to buy this thing, let's say when it comes down to this wick, right? You don't want to buy it right now. You want to wait till it drops and pulls back and gives you a better price, right? So what you would do is you could either grab the scale here, okay, and you can move it around. You'll see the dotted line over here on the UI, and let's just set it right there. You could either do that with a scale, or you could actually grab the dotted line, and then you come down here, of course, select the amount of Solana. Okay, so I clicked buy. So now it has my order set down here, right? And so if you want to see where your orders are at, whether they've gone through or not, you could see for this coin now, it's active, right? It says active right here in the corner. And then you have all your other ones that are active. You see the ones that are completed or failed on the bottom. And if you wanted to get out of all of them simultaneously, you can click this cancel all, and it'll just take you out of all of those setups. Now, if you wanted to cancel one at a time, you would have to click into them, which is a little weird. Normally, they used to have a little trash can somewhere around here on most platforms, but I learned on this one that if you wanted to cancel individually, you would click into them. Since I'm already open here, and you would go ahead and click cancel. Okay. And then it'll cancel your order. You'll see it cancel down there. Some other things to note on this platform is, of course, you can check the holder count, check the distribution by clicking on holders, top traders for this particular coin, all the transactions on the far left, and then dev tokens is interesting. Okay, it tells you how many coins this developer has created in the past. And so far, this guy's only done one. What you don't want to see is a long list, right? A long list normally means this guy's a professional rug puller. Okay, and if you do, you want to see this at a high percentage, meaning that most of them have bonded, meaning they have gone past that $40,000, $70,000 mark, right? They haven't just rug right off the bat. So those are some things you want to look at when you're looking into purchasing a coin, right? There's a few little metrics and features here that are cool. If you come over to the right-hand side, you're going to see all the metrics here as well. You're going to see the percentage of top 10 holders. You're going to see how much the developer has. You're going to see the snipers, insiders, bundlers, and how much of the LP is burned. So some other things to note, of course, if you want to deposit, okay, you're going to click this button. Okay, you can either scan it with your phone. If you're using Coinbase, you can scan this and it'll copy the contract address right off the bat. Or you can click on this little button here. It'll copy your clipboard and you can run over to whatever platform. They only take Solana. You can only send Solana here. So just know that this platform is mostly meant to trade Solana meme coins, right? So this is a bot. This is something you can create orders and do a lot of other stuff you can't do by just swapping in and out of your Phantom wallet, right? You can track right here what's in your wallet. I don't use that much. Perpetuals. You can actually leverage trade with Axiom, which is cool. I haven't messed around with it too much. I leverage trade mostly on Blowfin and a couple other decentralized platforms similar to this, like Hyperliquid. I've done videos on leverage trading. And so what you would do is now that if you have Solana in here already, what you would do is click the deposit button here, and then you would have to convert your Solana into USDT in order to leverage trade. So then you see the USDC, You would just put however much you want to put in. You'd have $145 worth of USDC. Once you have that all set up, then you put the amount of USDC you want to put in for your collateral. I don't have anything in here right now, so it's not going to show you any numbers. You can set your take profit, stop loss here, and then how much you actually want of your trade. So similar to the last video that I did with GMX, right? Very similar, all the same settings. Okay. And so you can do this on Axiom as well. It'll have your whole portfolio. I don't have any open positions. And then rewards. I'm not really sure too much of what this is. I'm sure it has to do with the yield and staking. So I'll explore this a little bit more. Maybe I'll do another separate video. But besides, I don't think there's much more that I could cover about this platform. So we've covered everything there. Oh yeah. So if you want to set the amount of slippage and also priority fees, you're going to click one of these. Okay. You can have 3 different kind of defaults, right? So I only use one for right now since I just started using this platform. You can create other ones, but right now my slippage is at 30. Okay. I want to make sure that thing gets in, right? My priority is at 0.005. And then I have my bribery at 0.005. So this just kind of helps leapfrog you in front of other people that may be trying to buy at the same exact point, and you won't get skipped over by increasing the priority and bribery fees, just to put yourself in a little bit better of a competition to get that price at that specific level if you're doing limit orders. Oh, and by the way, it's all the same if you want to sell, right? And you want to set a stop loss at a certain place. You click sell, you go to limit, right? And then you would go to however much of a percentage you want to sell. Say you only want to sell 50% of your position. I don't have anything in here, so I don't know how much it's going to show you here. But then again, so you don't want it to go beyond this point, right? Same thing. You would go in, you click sell. It's going to say I don't have anything invested, so I can't really do that here. But yeah, that's how you set a stop loss. And then also, if you want to set a take profit, right? Say you already bought the coin and you want to bet that it's going to go up, I don't know, this high. Same thing, right? You'd come up, put your take profit or sell, and say you want to sell 100%, take all your money out. You do that, click sell, right? Again, it's not going to set it for me because I don't have anything invested in this platform or in this project. I will see you guys in the next video. Take care.